Joining our live react here to the OpenAI announcement. We are just a couple minutes out, but Andy, I wanted to take this 60 seconds or so and just do a recap for anyone who's joining us who didn't catch our show about this new announcement earlier today.
Great. I think the big picture is that OpenAI, which has a reputation for smooth integration of interesting extensions and tools to their fundamentally advanced reasoning LLMs, they are about to expose their agent strategy. And that agent strategy has been rumored to be a combination of browser operations and deep research. And remember that agents just what it really means is they can plan and organize a collection of information and then act on that information, not only to refine their examination or research, but also to now act on web pages as necessary to do additional research or take actions on behalf of their master.
Right. And we were discussing a couple of different things that they could be announcing, that OpenAI could be announcing today. Basically, based on the little bits and pieces of the rumors and things like that, my best guess is this is going to be something akin to some of the output that we're seeing from things like GenSpark and Manus and things like that. Interconnect your
Good morning.
your databases. Here we go.
We're going to launch ChatGPT Agent, but before jumping into that, I'd like to ask the team to introduce themselves, starting with Yash.
Hi, I'm Yash. I work on Agent team, and before that, I used to work on Operator.
Hi, I'm Zhiqing. I work on agents research, previously on deep research.
Hi, I'm Casey. I'm a researcher on agents, formerly Operator.
Hi, I'm Isa. I'm a researcher on Agent, formerly on Deep Research.
So we started launching agents earlier this year. We launched Deep Research, we launched Operator, and people were very excited about this. People could see that now AI was going off to do complex tasks for them. But it became clear to us that what people really wanted was for us to bring those capabilities and more together. People wanted a unified agent that could go off, use its own computer, and do real complex tasks for them, that could seamlessly transition from thinking about something to taking actions, to using lots of tools, using the terminal, clicking around the web, even producing things like spreadsheets and slides and much more. And people wanted to be able to do this over a long time horizon and sort of for universal tasks. So the team has been working super hard to bring that together. And today we have ChatGPT Agent. It's probably easier to show it to you than to keep talking about it. It is one of the feel the AGI moments for me to watch it work. So let's take a look.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. And hello, everyone. Very excited to share ChatGPT Agent with everybody. And as Sam said, let's just dive right into the demo. OK, so we are on ChatGPT, as we all know and love. And to turn on the agent mode, you just click the Tools menu and select Agent. You can also just type Agent in the Composer bar, and it'll take you to the agent mode. Edward and I have a wedding to go to later this year. It's for one of our mutual friends. Should we have the agent planet?
Yeah, let's do it. I need an outfit, and don't forget the gift.
OK, great. We won't forget the gift. It's a little bit of a longer prompt, so I have it copied in my buffer. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste it. OK, so let's see what it says. Our friends are getting married later this year, as I said, Minnie and Sarah. And we want the agent to help us find an outfit that matches the dress code, propose a few options, nice, mid-luxury, taking into account venue and weather. We also want to find us some hotels, and as Edward said, don't forget the gift. So let's see and send the prompt away. As Sam said, agent uses a computer. So in the beginning, it sets up its environment. It'll take a minute or two, or not really, 5 seconds to set up its environment. And in this case, as you see, it understands the prompt. It's asking for me for a clarification. I'm just going to let it just continue and work anyway. I think it got confused by saying, oh, where's the, what exactly is the time of the date of the wedding? I think it'll figure out using the website. OK, cool. So now it's kicked off. It's starting to process the prompt, and it's opened up a browser. And to walk you through what's happening, here's Isa.
Yeah. So as mentioned, we gave the agent access to its own virtual computer. And the computer has many different tools installed, and it can choose which to use as it's working through the task. So in ChatGPT, you can see a visualization of the agent's computer screen, and you can see overlaid its chain of thought in text, and that's what it's thinking as it's working through the task and deciding what to do next. We gave the agent access to 2 different ways to browse the internet. First, we gave it a text browser, and this is similar to the deep research tool, and this is what lets it really efficiently and quickly read many web pages and search for them. And we also gave it access to a visual browser, and this is similar to the operator tool. And this is what lets it actually interact with the UI of a web page. So it can drag things, it can use the cursor to click around, it can open UI components, it can fill out forms and enter text in text areas. It's very flexible. So those 2 tools are very complementary. And then we also gave it access to its own terminal so that it can run code and it can also generate and analyze files like slide decks and spreadsheets. And then through the terminal, it's also able to call APIs. So both public APIs and APIs to access your private data sources like Google Drive, Google Calendar, GitHub, SharePoint, and many others. And only if you explicitly connect them, similar to deep research connectors. And then it also has access to the image gen API, so it can create nice visuals for slide decks and other things as it's working through its tasks.
How is it deciding which tools to use here?
Yes, we trained the model to move between these capabilities with reinforcement learning. This is the first model we trained that has access to this unified toolbox: a text browser, a GUI browser, and a terminal, all in one virtual machine. To guide its learning, we curated hard tasks that require using all these tools. This allows the model not only to learn how to use these tools, but also when to use which tool depending on the task at hand. At the beginning of the training, the model might attempt to use all these tools to solve a relatively simple problem. Over time, as we reward the model for solving problems correctly and efficiently, the model will have smarter tool choice. For example, if you ask the model to find a restaurant with specific requirements and make a reservation, the model may typically just start a deep research in the text browser to find some candidates, then switch to the GUI browser to view photos of food, check availability, and complete the booking. Similarly, for creative tasks, like creating an artifact, the model will first search online for public resources, then switch to the terminal to do some code editing to compile the artifact, and finally verify the final outputs in the GUI browser. With this, we truly feel like we brought together the best of deep research and operator and added some extra sparkle.
That's right. Yeah, so to put this project in context, I want to give a bit of history. So a few months ago, we shipped Operator in January. And this was our agent that lets you do online tasks like book reservations and send emails. And then 2 weeks later, we shipped Deep Research. And Deep Research is a tool that lets you do in-depth internet research and output high-quality research reports. And after launch, we realized that actually these 2 approaches are actually deeply complementary. For example, Operator has some trouble reading super long articles. It has to scroll, it takes a long time. But that's something that Deep Research is good at. Conversely, Operator, Deep Research isn't as good at interacting with web pages, interactive elements, visual, highly visual web pages, but that's something that Operator excels at. So yeah, we felt these approaches were complementary. And then we were also looking at some customer feedback. So for example, one of our most highly requested features for Deep Research was the ability to log into websites and access authenticated sources. That's something that Operator can do.
I've been waiting for that for a long time.
Yeah. Another thing is that we were looking at the prompts that people were trying for Operator, and we saw that they were actually more deep research type prompts. For example, plan a trip and then book it. And so, yeah, we really feel like we're bringing the best of both worlds here. And on a personal note, we've all been friends for a while, and it's really exciting to be working together. So speaking of matches made in heaven, how is the wedding planning going?
It's amazing to watch. This is an example of a task I hate doing. This can like ruin like multiple hours for me as I get sucked into these rabbit holes. So just watching this as you guys have been talking, click through this and just like do the whole thing is really quite remarkable.
Yeah, totally. Looks like it started off by figuring out the weather. One of the cool features is that, as some of these tasks may take a little bit longer, you can just go back and see what the agent was doing. So that's what we're exactly going to do. Looks like it went through the website, used the text browser. Interestingly for that, now it's looking through the suits for Edward. I think it'll find something good. Here you can see it switched over to actually a visual browser to make sure suit will look really good on Edward. And now looks like, yeah, it's chugging along, figuring out what to do, and still on suits, and now probably getting to the gifts section. Okay, cool. So this is going to take a while. As Sam said, these tasks sometimes can take a long time, so it's going to continue doing, hopefully much faster than we will do. Should we do something else while it's doing it? I think the team really wanted the stickers, some stickers for the launch. Should we do that?
Yeah, cool.
All right. So we have a team mascot, which is one of our colleagues, Bernie Doodle. Really, really cute, I'll tell you. And we're going to try and get some laptop stickers for everybody. One of the favorite features for Agent is, given that trajectories can take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on the complexity of the task, a lot of times you might need to help the agent might need to ask you clarifications, confirmations, and things like that. So I love to use it on the go. So I'm going to use my mobile phone to actually send the query this time and then see how it goes. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we are on ChatGPT. I have already selected the agent mode. I've also inputted our cute mascot, and I'm going to quickly paste a query. So query says, make some swag for the team, 1x1 laptop stickers, and order 500 of them. I'll also say I like sticker meal.
I didn't see them specify a model for this agent mode. Andy, did you see them do that in the beginning?
Okay, so just like it was doing on the web, it's going to take some time, think about like what's it doing, and it'll kick off the query. And as it's going, it'll take some time to kick it off. Oh, there we go. So it'll start working on it. Looks like it's starting to create the anime art. It'll probably use image gen that Isa referred earlier on to create, hopefully, an anime art. We'll see how it comes out. While that's going, anything else we want to do?
Oh, yeah. I also need a pair of shoes because my shoes got damaged.
How did they get damaged?
By the rain.
In SF?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, let's get Edward a pair of shoes as well. So, can you also find us pair of men's dress black shoes in size
9.5.
9.5. So one of the key capabilities of the model is being able to interrupt. I think, as trajectories take long time or whatever time, it's really important for it to feel very multi-turn so the users can interject, user can direct it, user can give it more guidance, less guidance, whatever we want to do. And that's what we're doing here. We essentially, the model was chugging along, figuring out all the things that we had asked before. And in this case, we essentially said, hey, can you also get us a pair of men's black shoes? And now it's thinking, and soon enough, hopefully, it'll take that into account. And
thus
keep
far,
going,
many of the things that it asked
there we go. So it says
to do are
acknowledge
very
the
similar to
interruption.
what Jen
Okay,
Spark
cool.
and
I'll
Lance
also
can
research
do.
men's black shoes in
But he's
size
saying
9.5.
get
And
instead
then it'll probably get on its way.
find. And
But
what I
maybe Isa can tell us a little bit more about how that
to
works.
actually
Yeah,
purchase
sure.
those things.
So as you can see,
to
the
get them on
agent
the
is
web.
very collaborative, and this was really important to us
Right,
when we
right,
were
right.
training the model and building the product. If you were asking another person to do a task for you that would take them a really long time to complete, you'd probably give them some instructions to start, and then they might ask you some clarifying questions, and then they'd start the task and maybe realize, oh, they need more clarification from you, or they need your permission to sign into something or do something on your behalf. And then you might realize, oh, I forgot to mention this thing, or what's your status? How are you doing? Can I help redirect you if you're getting along the wrong path or something? And so similarly, for these really long-running agentic tasks, it's very important that both the user and the agent are able to initiate communication with each other so that the agent is able to most effectively help you with your tasks. And so this is something that we actually trained into the model. We trained it to be able to ask clarifying questions, not every single time like deep research. We also we also trained it to be interruptible, as Yash just showed. And also sometimes it will ask you for clarification and confirmation mid-trajectory.
Yeah, and part of working with agent is that, well, sometimes it'll make mistakes. And that's why we felt it was important to train the model to ask you for confirmation at the last step of
I wonder
important
if they
steps.
will build in
So
an
for example,
SMS module.
maybe before it's going to send the
Because if I
email,
really want to set this
it'll
and forget
ask you
it,
to take a
but
look
I
at the
need to
draft and whether
interact
it makes
with
sense
it,
and whether
I'd
there are
really
any
like to be able
embarrassing
to
typos.
use
And if there are,
text
then
message
you
to
can
be able to
either
do it.
ask it to fix it, or you can
It was
directly take
using
over the browser
ChatGPT
and jump
application,
right into
so
the
you would just talk to
agent's
it.
environment and correct it
Well,
yourself.
yeah, that's
And
if
that way,
if
it feels
I have
collaborative
the
and you
app on
can
my
really
phone,
work with the agent.
or
Well,
if I'm
you will if you're using it.
Should we look at
yeah,
maybe
well,
more generally about this sort of
maybe it's just a
functionality
notification thing to bring up the
using our newest
ChatGPT
models to sort of evaluate
application as
themselves or
opposed
do
to
something kind of meta?
whatever your
Anything like that we
messages
could do?
app
Yeah, let's
is.
do it. So
I think people would love to know how good the model is.
yes. So this is a prompt we previously gave the agents yesterday. So basically, it asks the model to pull its own evaluation number from our Google Drive connector and make some slides. So we want to keep it simple, like no introduction, no conclusion, just present the results in the charts. As you can see, now the model is connecting to the Google Drive API and then search within API. Right now, it looks like the first result is very relevant. So it's reading the first result. Now it's reading the first result in details. Let's accelerate this replay. So then the model might read from the result again and write some code. So here you can see that the model is using the image generation model called the image generation tool to generate some decorations for the slides. And let's see what's the first slide the model made. So here the model is writing some code that will be compiled to be the final slides. So this is the first slide the model make in this demo, which looks okay, but it's not polished enough. One of the key features in reinforcement learning is that the model will review its own results and refine the results to deliver a good final result. Let's see what the model gave us. We can click skip, and then the model gave us a good PowerPoint file. So it's a real PowerPoint that you can download and open it in any software. Let's open it in the Office. So let's present the slides the model just generated. First are two intelligence benchmarks. Humanities Last Exam is a benchmark that measures AI's ability to solve a broad range of subjects on hard problems. We evaluate the models with two settings, with and without tool use. We can see that the agent modes, the raw intelligence is already pretty nice, and with access to all tools, nearly double the performance to 42%. When evaluating models on humanities last exam, especially with the browsing ability, we have a two-layer decontamination that ensures that the model doesn't cheat on this benchmark. Frontier Math is a benchmark that measures the advanced mathematical reasoning ability of models. Different from our baseline, O4 Mini and O3, which use Python with function calling, we give the agent model all available tools, like a browser, a computer, and a terminal. The agent achieves a new state of art of 27% on this benchmark with the help of all these tools. Next, we evaluate the model on two agentic benchmarks. Web Arena is a benchmark that measures web agents' ability to solve real-world web tasks. The agent model improves over previous O3 model that powers the core. BrowseComp is a benchmark we introduced earlier this year that measures the browsing agent's ability to search and find how to locate information. The agent model significantly outperforms O3 and deep research on this benchmark, achieving 69% pass rate. Finally, we care about how the users will benefit from our model in the real world. Spreadsheet Bench is a benchmark that measures the model's ability to edit spreadsheets derived from the real-world use case. Here, the agent model with the LibreOffice and the computer tool can already solve 30% of the task. When we give the model the access to the raw Excel file in the terminal, which further boosts the performance to 45%. Finally, we evaluate the model on an internal banking benchmark. This benchmark evaluates the model's ability to conduct first to third year investment banking analyst tasks, such as like putting together a three-statement financial model for a Fortune 500 company. In this benchmark, the agent model significantly outperforms the previous deep research and O3 models. As you can see, this model is one of the most powerful models we've ever trained. It's not only good on benchmarks, it's also capable of reasoning, browsing, and tackling real-world tasks at a level that we cannot imagine 3 months ago.
That's right. As Edward said, we think we've trained a very powerful model, and a lot of the power comes from its ability to browse the internet. And as we know, the internet can be a scary place. There are all sorts of hackers trying to steal your information, scams, phishing attempts. And Agent isn't immune to all these things. One particular thing we're worried about is a new attack called prompt injections. This is where, let's say, you ask Agent to buy you a book, and you give it your credit card information to do that. Agent might stumble upon a malicious website that asks it, oh, enter your credit card information here. It'll help you with your task. An agent, which is trained to be helpful, might decide that's a good idea. We've done a lot of work to try to ensure that this doesn't happen. We've trained our model to ignore suspicious instructions on suspicious websites. We also have layers of monitors that kind of peer over the agent's shoulder and watch it as it's going, and stop the trajectory if anything looks suspicious. We can even update these in real time if new attacks are found in the wild. That said, though, this is a cutting-edge product, this is a new surface, and we can't stop everything. And so that's why I feel it's very important for the audience to be aware of the risks involved in using Agent. And we encourage users to be proactive in kind of thinking about how they share their information. If it's highly sensitive information, maybe don't share that. Maybe use our features like takeover mode to directly input your credit card information into the browser instead of giving it to Agent. We feel like we've built a very powerful product, but again, it's important for our users to understand the risks involved.
Yeah, I really want to emphasize that. I think this is a new level of capability in AI. It's a new way to use AI, but there will be a new set of attacks that come with that, and society and the technology will have to evolve and learn how we're going to mitigate things that we can't even really imagine yet as people start doing more and more work this way. Before we wrap up, should we check in on some of the tasks you kicked off?
Yeah, let's do it. OK, so I am going to open a new tab and make sure that we can see the progress of our stickers as well. OK, let's see. All right, so sounds like stickers are ready. Let me see what it actually. OK, so cool thing. This is sort of the end result of took about 7 minutes, highly likely figured out everything. We'll go back and look at the trajectory and see how it did. But at the end result, it looks like it's added to the cart. This is the subtotal. I can just go ahead and look at it and then figure out. I can just take over at this point, as Casey said, to enter my credit card information and then place the order really quickly. Model is asking for confirmations, et cetera, as it's supposed to do. Let's just quickly browse through the trajectory and see what it actually did. Oh, it looks like it generated some stickers. Oh, look at that. That's what it generated. That'll be a cute sticker. Cool. So yeah, that's the task. I think I can, at this point, finish up by myself, or I can ask the model to actually go ahead and do it for me as well. Let's check on the wedding. OK, great. Looks like it just finished in the nick of time. OK, cool. So in this case, as we said, we were looking for hotels, suits, and also shoes. So it's come out with a pretty comprehensive report, it looks like. Wedding venue, date, when it is, with the Zola links, dress codes. It figured out like what the suit recommendation should be, where you can buy. Now I can go ahead and buy myself, or I can ask the agent to go and buy for me. Also figured out footwear, hotel options. It actually looked through all the, It looked through all the availability. You can see actually it gives screenshots of what it checked. In this case, we use booking.com, and it's able to do that. Also has gift suggestions, etc. And next step, I can ask it. As you said, the agent says, hey, if you need assistance purchasing any item or have any further adjustments, let me know, so we can do that. And I want to show one last demo, which we didn't really run live, but I think it's really cool. And especially because the folks who are getting married are really into MLB. So we asked the agent to go and build an optimal itinerary for visiting all 30 MLB stadiums, just in case you're thinking of a sabbatical, and then design the optimal route, prioritize Hello Kitty nights and whatnot, and present a final plan as a detailed spreadsheet. I'll really quickly run through this. I think it's just so fun to see. So again, like as we have shown throughout the live stream, it uses a multitude of tools, uses the terminal, using the browser, working through all the details. It'll probably use, again, back to the browser, figuring out Hello Kitty nights, and then sports stadium and whatnot. Oh, let's see, did I miss that? Oh, there you go, building a map, using code to actually build it out. And then overall, we get like a pretty solid result, I think. At the end, it takes 25 minutes to work. Where does the season start and whatnot? You have a spreadsheet that you can quickly view just right inside ChatGPT. You can map the journey, cool looking map, I guess. And that's it. So this is ChatGPT Agent. We hope you really like it. And over to Sam.
Amazing work, all of you, and to your teams. This is, I think, really something that's going to help people get work done and have more time to do the things they want to do. I think it's really amazing how much you've brought together to deliver this experience, and watching the agent sort of use the internet, make these spreadsheets, make PowerPoints, whatever else, and do all this work is quite amazing. We're going live today for Pro, Plus, and Team users. Pro users will get 400 queries a month, Plus and Team users will get 40 a month. The rollout should be finished by the end of the day for Pro and very soon for Plus and Team users. We'll try to be live for Enterprise and EDU by the end of this month. As Casey mentioned, although this is an extremely exciting new technology, there are new risks. People learned how to use the internet generally pretty safely, although of course there's still scammers and other attacks. People are going to need to learn to use AI agents, and society's going to need to learn to build up defenses against attacks on AI agents as well. So we're starting with a very robust system, lots of warnings. We will relax that over time as people get more comfortable with it, but we do want people to treat this as a new technology and a new risk surface and use all of the caution that Casey talked about. But that said, we hope you'll love it. This is still very early. We will improve it rapidly, and we're excited to see where it all goes. So congrats again. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy.
Okay. How does that? What's your what's your initial impressions?
Well, I was struggling to see how this is markedly different from GenSpark, which I use as an agent, and it's able to do deep research and combine that with multi-step, interruptible interaction with me, and it acts to, I planned my itinerary for my 50th college reunion using GenSpark, and I did almost exactly what the demo showed there. It gave me things to see along the routes that I had to drive. It set up, the hotels. Here's your options, and it did not. I didn't ask it to, and I haven't yet tried using GenSpark or another agent to actually conclude the transactions. And they didn't either in this demo, right? But they showed that, I could now that I've got the link and I could, choose to do that, I could complete that myself, or I could ask the agent to do it. Well, I'm a little skeptical about just how effectively and error-free the agent's conclusion of an actual transaction through a website would be.
Right.
So I'll have to test that myself. But apart from that, I mean, this is the one thing that seemed to stand out for me was the integration with the terminal as a code platform, so that it can write and execute code that's part of its not deliberative process, not the reasoning part of it, but part of its execution process. I have to do, in his example, I have to do an analysis of the right sequence, optimizing the series of destinations that happen to hit all MLB stadiums. That was done in code. And it was a calculation that it had an optimization function in it, and so on. So that I've never used an agent in a way that required that or revealed that that was what was doing. Another thing I'll point out is that they have built into the UI, which I hope I'll see later today, they have built into that a replay video of what the
what the steps
presentation
were.
of
Yeah,
what
yeah, I
was
like
doing.
that. Yeah.
You know, that's not to my knowledge a feature of the other agents, that you can go back and you can click on the actual chat stream and see what it was talking about. But watching the browser actions in a replay video, that's a new UI feature that I haven't seen before.
Mhm. Yeah, and I'm wondering if there's also a text only version of that. Is it truly the analysis, or it's a breakdown of what its thinking and operating process is, and they included, you know, screenshots from it, or is it just a surface layer thing? So it'll be nice to go into that. Gwen coming in from chat says that it is live for Plus, so we'll have to dive into that and see what it looks like. I've fairly similar estimations based off of what we've seen. Is it does look like a Manus or GenSpark, those that form of agentic features. I'm sure there will be hundreds of comparison videos that everyone will see in their FYP for the next few weeks, just to give you a breakdown of, you know, Manus versus GenSpark versus OpenAI agent, you know, which one is best. And of course, it really all comes down to what your use case is. So I think for me, I'm more interested in how do I use it outside of OpenAI. This is obviously a productivity bump where you live in the OpenAI system, you interconnect all of your things in OpenAI, you use ChatGPT to do all of this stuff. So it's a great productivity bump. I want to know a little more about what can I do to access it and use it and trigger it all outside of ChatGPT. And I know that wasn't their focus for today, so we'll see what the API layer or level of access will be.
So one of the things that I expected to hear, and they didn't reference really at all, was an advance in the solution to the problems that Operator demonstrated by using a pixel-oriented navigation of websites, as opposed to using the document object model underneath and basically speaking to a web page in the code that's behind the scenes. Right. Instead, this does seem to be still looking at the page and interpreting the page with its own browser. And so I was disappointed that they didn't release yet what is certainly coming, which is ultimately there'll be a combination of this behind the screen access to the document descriptions and all the elements on the page, so that it can call to the page and in JavaScript and just say, give me this object, and then return it with an action built into it without having to imitate a mouse and clicking in order to do that.
Well, they addressed it just a little bit with saying how deep research and Operator tend to work complementary to each other, and I think that kind of goes towards what you're looking for. But yeah, they definitely didn't go into the more technical aspects of that. Maybe that's and I'm just talking off the top of my head here, is maybe that level of access is already built in, or aspect of it built into their deep research process. And so that's what they were referencing, how deep research and Operator work well with each other, is to fill in the gaps in each of those models approaches. So yeah, we'll see how that comes out of there. I would love to see some documentation coming out that really breaks it down for us, and then again, that goes back to what I want to see on that API level of access. I think as a ChatGPT user, this is probably a big win. And I'm sure in terms of market share and awareness and things like that, this is a counterpoint or a a sales move in the sense that, oh, we have all of these hundreds of millions of users here. You don't need to look at Manus or GenSpark because now we have essentially what they're doing, and you can get more out of your ChatGPT subscription. So added feature rich. All right. Is there anything other insights that you picked up from their live stream?
No, I'm eager to try it. It's built right into ChatGPT, so it'll be easy to access it. It'll probably siphon away on a few occasions my attentions from the browser tab with GenSpark open, because I'm actually in ChatGPT and other modes using the very capable tools there for various functions. So now I'll try the agent mode and maybe kick off some of the more complex investigations and actions that I want to do. And by the way, on tomorrow's Daily AI show, I'm going to show how I'm using OpenAI's ChatGPT to generate infographics that are included then in an application that I've been building. But importantly, I'm going to also show how I use GenSpark to do some pretty complex, sort of household issues that confront you in the world of. I'll just say that's what I'm going to give you an example of a very complex issue that I have that's got legal implications, and it's got a customer service implications, and it's got mechanical implications, and GenSpark kind of marshaled me through that entire thing. Certainly saved me a lot of aggravation and many hours of work. So that's what this new tool will allow you to do as well.
Awesome. All right. So thank you everybody for joining us for today for this live react. We will be back tomorrow, like Andy said. So have a great rest of your day, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Aloha.